Hello there, Cyber Patriots. It's Hoog again, giving you another quick video on just general stuff. As you can see, I've gotten my virtual machine working. This is Windows Server 2008, as you can see up here. And in this video, we'll be going over really just a couple of things in the local security policies, just the basic things that you need to get out of the way at the very beginning. Just stuff that needs to be done, and we'll dive more into the complex stuff another time. But for now, let's just start with showing you all exactly how to get into these security policies. So if we go to Start, Control Panel, and then go into Administrative Tools, and then right here, Local Security Policy. Now you can open that up and get there this way, but there's another way to do it that's, some people might prefer. If you go to Start, hit Run, and then type in secpol.msc for security policies.Microsoft Corporation. Hit enter, and then go ahead and continue, and it'll bring up your local security policies. Now, we're only going to be working with a couple of things in here, something, just some things in the account policies and some things in the local policies. We'll start off with the account policies. Account policies are, everything here is pretty self-explanatory. Local security policies are exactly what it says. It's the security policies for anything on your machine, anything on your domain, whatever. And, local policies, audit policies, everything has a name given to it that makes sense. So audit policies is just everything that's recorded. So we're going to start off with account policies. If we go into password policies, and pretty obvious as to what those are. They're just, nice little settings for password requirements. Now, this is something that you might see in Cyber Patriot competition, some random stuff. Now, by default, you notice 999 days. That's the max. That already shouldn't be there. You just know, regardless of what it is. Now, everything else here you may not know about. So, go real quick into each one. If we go to Enforce Password History, now, this will record any password that a user has had, and they cannot use the same password again after they've changed it for a certain amount of time, for a certain number of times until after it's been cleaned out of the list. Now, the recommended setting for the number of passwords remembered is 24. So this will remember up to 24 passwords that have previously been used by a user or an administrator or whoever on your machine. And they won't be able to reuse a password until it's gone through this list, and been recycled. So just go ahead and hit OK. Now, maximum password age. This is displayed as 999 days. That's a really long time. That's over 3 years. Is it over 3 years? No, it's just under 3 years. I'm sorry. So, setting this is allowing a lot of room for what passwords can be on your machine or on your server. The recommended setting for the maximum password age is 30. This means every password will expire in 30 days. So every 30 days, whoever is working on your machine or your server will have to reset their password. So that's the recommended setting for just kind of basic security. So we go ahead and hit enter. Minimum password age. Now, this could really be anywhere from 0 to whatever your maximum password age is, but it's recommended that you at least give it some value. As in, if you have it set to 0 days, somebody can reset their password 24 times in a day to get their old password. Let's say their system's been hacked, but they just really want their old password. So having a nice setting for this is pretty useful. So I typically just set it to 15. Anything other than 0 will do just fine. Now, minimum password length. Once again, this is also kind of up to you. You can have it 6, you can have it 8, you can have it 4, you can have it 7. It's pretty simple stuff. I usually set mine to 12. It's a nice long password, nice and strong, and avoidable against most password cracking. Now, the next is password must meet complexity requirements. This is stuff like it needs a number, it needs a special character, it needs an uppercase and a lowercase letter. So, as you can see, this is currently disabled on my virtual machine. I'm going to go ahead and enable that so that password's more complex, harder to crack, harder to get into. And now, store passwords using reversible encryption. Okay, what this does is, excuse me, reversible encryption is kind of like storing your password on plain text. Any application you run that requires your password information is able to get right into it. And the only time you would ever really use reversible encryption is when the need to run an application that requires password usage overwhelms the need to be secure. In my situation, though, we're heading for a more secure environment. That's our job. So we want to go ahead and disable reversible encryption so that passwords cannot be used by certain applications. Just go ahead and hit enter. So there we have it. We have our password policies. Now, you can go into your account lockout policies, and you can really do whatever you want with these. They're really not a whole lot to do with, and I can't seem to. I'm just going to say 3 for this. Okay. And you just put a value in for that, and it'll automatically set default 30 minutes for your account lockout duration and reset lockout after 30 minutes, which is pretty easy. I mean, it does it for you. Now, if we go into our local policies, into audit. So if we go here, just a few nifty little things. You don't really have to know what each one of these does, except for it, just audit policies record certain events that go on in your computer. So let's say account logon, it records those things. You can have it record successful logon or a failure of a logon, and so on with all of these audit policies. So if we just go ahead and go success failure for each one of these, which will record successful and failures to do each of these events. So logon events, account logon events, account management, policy change, it'll record successes and failures so that you can later go into your event viewer, which I showed you earlier, and no, I didn't show you that at all. Again, that's some other point. You can go into this nifty little thing called event viewer, and you can actually see these things, these recordings. So just go ahead to each of these and put success failure on most all of them except for this one, audit privilege use. Just keep that on no auditing. It really doesn't do a whole lot for you, and it's not necessary to do any kind of securing of a computer. So I'm going to go ahead and set all of these to success failure real quick. And yeah. So if you guys have any comments about my videos or whatever, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for what I should go over next, like the event viewer, I suppose, or some other kind of security policies that I should explore, and there are a lot of them, just go ahead and leave that on the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.